Good morning, and welcome to the meditation of the Calgary Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Heather Clark, and it's my joy to lead us in this time together. And I'm going to actually use as a crutch a meditation in the textbook from Dr. Ernest Holmes. But let's start first, like Dr. Pat starts all of her talks, by taking 3 deep breaths. So please join me. And again. And then at your own speed. This meditation is based upon the scripture, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still and know that I am God. And as Ernest Holmes writes, "I am still in thy presence. I am still in thy presence. I am quiet and peaceful, for I put my trust in thee. I am quiet and peaceful, for I put my trust in thee." A great stillness steals over. A great stillness steals over me, and a great calm quiets my whole being as I realize thy presence. The heart knows of thee, O Most High, within. The heart knows of thee, O Most High, within. It is still in thy presence, and it puts in the whole confidence of thee alone. In thy presence I am still. Be still and know that I am God. And while we contemplate the meaning of those words, just put your attention on your breath and notice, are you breathing in or are you breathing out? Don't try to change anything. Just be. Be still and know that I am God. And we're going to continue bit by bit. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know. Be still. Be. for any that are just joining or have become lost in thought. We're contemplating the scripture, "Be still and know that I am God." So allow body and mind to simply still. Let your whole being be a lake that is so full of peace it's reflecting the surroundings. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know. Be still. Be, just be. Now gently, gently, gently allow yourself to hear the sounds around you, the sounds of the flute, the sounds of the drum. From that place of beingness, of stillness, acknowledge that all there is right here within you, within me, within all of us. So coming back to that awareness of all that is, bring yourself to this moment of now. Of course, you're welcome to stay in that stillness. But as it becomes aware, as you become more aware, allow yourself to truly, truly awaken to the beauty that you are. Perhaps stretch into this new awareness. Perhaps open your eyes. Let your whole self truly be here so that all that you are can be a welcoming presence for all that is. Thank you for joining this morning.
to love one another. We have come here to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and we're brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and we're brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and we're brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. Oh, we have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and we're brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. Carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love everywhere that we go. Woohoo! Woohoo! That was elevation. Okay, I've got some sound stuff going on here. Thank you. Hi, everybody. How are you? I guess I'll just be a little more quiet. It's wonderful to see everybody here. And if you're new to us, I'll introduce myself. I'm Pat Campbell, and I am the spiritual director of the center. And if you've never been to a Center for Spiritual Living, there's a few things you need to know. As you can see from the slide over here, can we make that advance? And then usually I have more control over it. Ha ha ha. That was kind of almost a joke. Anyway, we are a faith tradition that honors all faith traditions. We understand that there are as many paths to understanding, to enlightenment, as there are people on this earth. Just look around the room and see all the different expressions of the divine. It's just lovely. It's so wonderful to look at everyone and see how spirit is knowing itself and expressing itself through each of us. So that means that there can't be just one way to believe. There's a myriad ways of believing because there's a myriad ways of expressing. So what I would like to ask is, if there's anybody who is here for the first time, we don't want to embarrass you. We just want to say hi and let you know that you're absolutely welcome. So any newcomers today? I thought maybe so. I kept cutting my eyes over to her a little bit. But please know you're so welcome. Give her a hand. You remember what that was like for you. Thanks for being here, and just have a good time. As you can tell, we are very serious about spirituality, but we are not somber. And so we believe in having a good time. We love our rock and roll music, and so you are welcome here. Let's stand up and sing our conch song, and I do need words now. Oh, there we go. Come on, get your reggae going here. Come on. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds perch on my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be alright. Rise up this morning, rise with the rising sun. 3 little birds perch on my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be alright. Don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be alright. Yeah. Woo. That was fun. I love that song. Okay, so you guys, the summer's coming to an end. I know, no, not happening. We're going to be wearing shorts in December, okay. But we have a lot of things that are coming up. You know, as the fall comes along, we have a lot of activities. So we have a bunch of things to tell you about. You're going to hear about it from a bunch of different people. So the first one is Valda Harris, who is going to come and tell us about the workshop that she's having this afternoon, starting at 12:30. Woohoo!
Well, thanks, everybody. Today we're going to look at activating our abundance. So this is part of 3 different workshops that we're going to have, just a little mini workshops after center. So it starts at 12:30. You've got a chance to get a bite to eat, and we'll just pop over together. And we're just going to explore this idea and play with the idea of, you know, opening our abundance to more abundance, being aware of where we might have a few blocks, and then looking at a few simple strategies that we can take into our life. And last week we talked a bit about that idea of the trim tab, which is something that I learned from Dr. Jean Houston, which is this tiny little bit in the engine of the great ocean liners, and you switch it up just a tiny bit, and the whole direction changes. So I'm hoping that today or one of these workshops will be that for you. Thanks. Oh, if you want to come, just meet me at the back after center, and I'll just so I have a sense of who's coming. Thanks.
All right, thank you. So that's today at 12:30. Love offering of $20, and Valda's going to be presenting 3 of these through the next few months. So that's very exciting. Thank you, Valda. The next thing we have to tell you about is the tiny forest. Here's Lance, because this is he's one of the tiny forest people.
Yeah, inside joke that Dr. Pat's already shared with everyone, so that's great. Yeah, and again, why not? So we are just outside that door, the back of the property here. We're going to build a tiny forest. And this is through the Calgary Climate Hub and a few other organizations. They have put in $15,000 or more, actually, to get this done. All we have to do as a center is have people show up on the planting day. So that is September 10th. It'll be right after service. We will feed people a pizza lunch, and we're looking for people to do a 1 or 2 hour shift. It is light work, but it will be for the full 1 or 2 hours. So what I mean by light work is that the tiny forest is actually, most things are going to be that big. So it's built, it's a specific way of making a forest, of planting a forest. They're all going to be native trees. There's going to be Saskatoons, there's going to be raspberries, wildflowers, all the rest of it. So that's what we are asking of our community. The rest of it has all been paid for, thankfully, through this organization and what they're doing. The whole idea is that Calgary is looking to reforest itself within the city, and this is one way that it's happening. So please sign up. After service, we would love to get to 30 or more volunteers. We've got about a dozen already, so it would be very appreciated. September 10th, right after service. If you have any questions, by all means, talk to me. And this applies for the people online. Just send us an email, since you can't be here to sign up. Send an email to office@calgarycsl.org.
Thank you, Lance. And I want to acknowledge Lance for his enthusiasm in putting this together. It started out as just a little idea that somebody said, hey, maybe we could collaborate with these people. And it's real. I mean, they've put forth everything. All we're going to do is some man hours there, or woman hours. So we hope that we'll have a lot of people showing up for that. Okay, that is the tiny forest. And the final one that we're going to tell you about, you haven't heard about yet, is Reverend Val's class that she has coming up called Consciousness and the Creative Process, and she's going to tell you all about that class, which starts on Wednesday, September 13th, and goes through October 18th. Are you looking at my slide to make sure I put everything on there?
To see what time.
Okay.
Good morning. I'm doing the class Consciousness and the Creative Process, and it's Judge Thomas Troward. I love Thomas Troward. I've got my book, and if you look through it, it's all different colors, different pens and everything, so that I read it every now and then, and I've got it on audio, so I listen to it. Thomas Troward is adept at taking the inner world of your thought and putting it into your physical universe. It's not an easy sometimes to understand because it's an old language, but hopefully working together we can make it easier. He was a big influence on Ernest Holmes, and Ernest Holmes exclaimed, it said in the book, that it eclipsed everything I read. This is exactly what I feel. This solves the problem of dualism. This is the real meaning of principle. So I love Troward. I just find it so exciting. So we're also going to take a deep dive into the creative process, and including the different stages of the growth of consciousness and how you get there. So please come and join me, and we'll do this together and have an amazing time. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Val. Now, a few things I want to let you know about this course. Number one, Foundations is a prerequisite. So if you're like, oh, that sounds interesting, but you have not taken the Foundations course, that's coming up in October, November, so you need to take that first. Because otherwise, I say it Troward, she says it Troward, Canadian American. But anyway, so you need to have taken Foundations for that. And and that is coming up. Foundations is coming up October, November, which I'll tell you about in a few weeks. So, everybody excited? Who's excited? Yes? Okay, I can tell. The last thing we want to tell you about is Sonia DeLeo, one of our wonderful singers and musicians, is doing a concert here September 15th. Doors open at 7:30. The show's at $8, $20, and you can see Lance. You can e-transfer. It's going to be a wonderful evening. Sonia is extremely entertaining and a wonderful storyteller as well. So you're going to have a really, really good time for that. So if you have any questions about that, you can see Lance as well. And anything that we've covered that you want more information, website and on the newsletter. And if you're not signed up for the newsletter, go on the website and sign up for the newsletter because it comes to you every week. Okay, I think that's all I've got. Okay, so now we're going to go into our more sacred part of our service. Everything is sacred. Everything in life is sacred. And yet, we're going to go consciously and with intention. So Dr. Heather is going to give us our spiritual mind treatment. And Amy is going to lead us in a chant. And I'd like to invite the ministers and the practitioners to please come forward and come line the stage. These people are here to serve you. And they really, really want to serve you. I think maybe our congregation doesn't understand that they really, really love what they do and they want to do prayer work, treatment work on your behalf. So if you have something going on, you'd like somebody to just know the spiritual truth about you, then just come up to them after service and say, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? And they will do a lovely, beautiful spiritual mind treatment on your behalf. And they really get results. So Dr. Heather and Amy, if you would, please.
I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love.
Indeed, surrendering in love to the love that I am. I speak this word for everyone in the first person. And what I know is true is that there is only one power, one presence, one life, one divine mind, forever creating out of itself and bringing forth the good that it is, moving throughout all creation as each one of us. I see it and know it and accept it. I ready myself right now to hear something from a different perspective, to listen with the ears of God of good, to see the truth in a greater way, to feel the presence that is joy and peace and prosperity that is the creative process both in the universe and the individual. That I am is ever ready to become even greater on the outer as it is growing greater on the inner. So in this holy moment of right now, I accept that truth in preparation for hearing the wisdom that is to come. I hear it, I feel it, I embrace it, I use it. I am open and receptive to the I am within me. I am open and receptive to the wisdom all around me, the beauty that surrounds me, that indwells me, that is me. I'm so grateful for knowing who and what I am. I'm so grateful for being surrounded by like minds and with my heart overflowing with joy and gratitude. I simply release this word to the action and activity of the law of mind. God's got this, and so it is.
to the truth of who I am dropping down, surrendering in love.
And so now we're going to embrace our vision for the center by repeating it together. The Calgary Center for Spiritual Living is a beacon of spiritual illumination that inspires individuals to reveal their wholeness, co-creating a world that works for everyone. And we do that through our mission, which we also say together.
The Calgary Center for Spiritual Living makes accessible a way of living and thinking that reveals one's spiritual magnificence and personal power. We co-create an inclusive community that fosters an expansion of consciousness. That was beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Heather. Thank you, Amy. And thank you, all of my beloveds, for being here in support of the center and our community. And I was remiss in not welcoming our Love Stream people. I'm sorry I got carried away in singing Three Little Birds, but I do I do want to acknowledge the continuing of our community with our Love Stream people, and just know that you're very special and you're very, very much a part of our spiritual community, and we love and honor you. And if you would, people don't believe me, but it's true. I go and read all the comments afterwards, and so if you let me know where you tuned in from, that would be really awesome. I know most of the people here tuned in because they're in Calgary, but if you're from someplace else, I know we've got Las Vegas, I know we've got New Jersey, I know we've got Kelowna. So if you're tuning in, let us know where you're coming from. Thank you. Okay, so I'm super excited about this song. It's absolutely beautiful, written by a colleague of Amy's named Gary Lynn Floyd. Many of you know Gary. He's been here for our conference a few years ago, and he's just part of the New Thought movement. So please welcome Elevation.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there is error, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender. Let it be. Loving Spirit dwell
Elevation. Amy Bishop, Oliver Miguel, Steph Chapman, Ben Montgomery, and Brendan McElroy. Thank you, guys. That was awesome. Give it up for them. That was so good. Woo! Thank you. My heart is full already. Thanks, Ben. Oh, and thanks, Ben. You know, give it up for Ben and Joey up on top. I swear to God, they have been scrambling today up there, so they're doing an awesome job. Would you breathe with me, please? And again. And one more time, please. Maybe we just stay just like this and we just breathe together for the next few minutes. What do you think? No, I got some things to tell you. So, never mind. So, as most of you know, I participated a couple of weeks ago at our parent organization's retreat/conference held at the beautiful Asilomar Conference Center in Monterey, California. I was there with Doug Craig, and Anna. Doug and Anna. We were the only ones from the Calgary Center this time, and I wish we had had more, and it just didn't happen. We had a really, really good time. So, as I explained to you a couple of weeks ago, I was giving the final talk of the conference. I was wrapping it all up. But what I was telling you about the conference center is that people in our organization have been going to this place since the 1950s. I mean, a really, really long time. So our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, who you're going to hear talked about quite a bit today, he spoke there many times, so it's part of our legacy. It's part of our history. That said, a few years ago, our leadership made the very difficult decision that we would not be going back every year for a couple of reasons, cost being one of them. It was just getting to be the point where it was quite costly. So what's happening, a lot of people ask me this, so what's happening is that instead of going every year or every other year, right now it looks like we're going to be returning to Asilomar like every 4 or 5 years, and have it be kind of like a pilgrimage, because that's what it felt like as we were all getting ready to go, and people were posting on Facebook, I'm leaving for Asilomar, oh, I'm at the airport now, I'm going to Asilomar. So it definitely felt like a pilgrimage, and it will continue to be as long as it lives in the hearts of those of us who love it, and that would be me. I've been like 25 times. Darlene, you know what I'm talking about. I loved it so much, although I don't quite remember how big it was and the hills. I didn't quite expect the hills and so I must have been younger. Yeah, I was at least 4 years younger the last time I was there. But it was so great to see old friends and make new friends and hear the wonderful speakers, and the music was fabulous, and every meal you have a shared meal together so you get to know people there. And so I just loved being in the energy of being in a place that is so steeped in history, with people, as Dr. Heather said it earlier, a people of like mind. There is nothing like it. So as I said, I was the final speaker, and I talked about re-entry. If you remember, I practiced my talk on you guys. You were so kind, and it was pretty well received. I have to tell you, I think a lot of people recognize the importance of coming out of the bliss bubble and then having to go back into the material world. so to speak. Yeah. In fact, I've had several people, including, I couldn't believe this, somebody who actually hand wrote me a note and sent it here to the center to tell me about their reentry experience. It resonated with people, and that made me happy. I was glad about that. My only complaint was it was a little bit too short. We used to go for a week. And this was only 3.5 days. So even though the hills kicked my you-know-what, and they did, I absolutely could have stayed a couple more days just to hang out and be in that beautiful place right on the ocean. But what I did instead was come back and work the count room of our casino fundraiser. Talk about re-entry. I mean, here I am in this total bliss bubble. I mean, I'm just like, and I love everyone. And then I walk into the blare of a casino on a Saturday night at 10 o'clock. I was like, whoa. But you know what? That gives me an opportunity to thank everybody who participated in the casino. If you did, would you just stand up so that we can acknowledge you? Anybody who participated in the casino, it takes a village. Look at this. It takes a lot of people to make that weekend go, or those 2 days of the casino go. So thank you all so much. It's our biggest fundraiser. It is so very important to the health of the center. So I just want to tell you that. So what was also interesting, because people said, how was Asilomar? So I'm going to tell you how Asilomar was for me. What was interesting about that experience was there was so much genuine love, and there was so much recognizing and looking and seeing the good and the God in everybody. And yet, among the speakers, there was an underlying subtle energy of disagreement between the old way of doing things and the new way of doing things. In other words, there were the traditionalists who love our teaching the way it is and feel it is the key to creating a world that works for everyone exactly as it is. And then there are some of our less conventional speakers who feel as if we need to change things up in order to be relevant. In fact, one speaker actually alluded that maybe it was time to retire Ernest Holmes and the Science of Mind text in favor of some of the more modern writers and teachers of today who are kind of teaching the same thing. It's like Holmes is old-fashioned, and we got these other people who are teaching it in another way. And I will tell you, just like you, more than a few of my colleagues were fairly scandalized by this, right? Especially because we were at Asilomar. So they recognized the need to be relevant, but does that mean throwing the baby out with the bathwater? Does that mean letting go of our attachment to the teaching that in some cases saved our lives? But for those who long for change and newness, they say that we are not meant to stay in one place forever or to teach just one thing forever. In fact, Ernest Holmes actually says that. He says this: nature will not let us stay in any one place too long. She will let us stay just long enough to gather the experience necessary to the unfolding and advancement of the soul. This is a wise provision, for should we stay here too long, we would become too set, too rigid, too inflexible. Nature demands the change in order that we may advance. When the change comes, we should welcome it with a smile on the lips and a song in the heart. In other words, if we stay too attached to what always was, it doesn't make room for what wants to happen. Now, did you notice, though, that I used Ernest Holmes to prove the point that Ernest Holmes isn't relevant anymore? Which kind of makes him super relevant. So as I said, even in the midst of the love fest, and folks, please believe me, it was an absolute love fest, and it was real, and it was authentic. And underneath it was a sense of unsettledness and questioning, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. So it felt like there was an energy of either or. Either you're for tradition and the teaching and familiarity, or you're for change and new things and releasing the old. That's what it felt like. And then to add to the mix, I'm just folks, just telling you how it was for me. Doug, am I on target? Yeah, okay. So to add to the mix, there was also the either or feeling of whether or not it is time for us as an organization and as a teaching to become more socially active. Our new spiritual leader, her name is lovely woman named Reverend Sunny Cantrell Smith, gave an impassioned talk about how important it is for us to begin actively working on behalf of the disenfranchised and the marginalized members of society. That our very teaching of oneness dictates that we stand up for those whose rights are being tread upon. And as I said, it was impassioned. It was inspiring, it was thought-provoking, and it made a lot of people really uncomfortable. Because many of us come from the belief that our work in this teaching is in the field of mind. We do it through spiritual mind treatment, which is our form of prayer. We do it through education. Why do you think we teach classes all the time? We do it about expanding consciousness, not pounding the pavement. People, we believe that our work is to teach people how to change their thinking, which in turn will change their circumstances. That's the teaching. But the social activists of us, and there are many, will say, yeah, that's fine. Yes, it's the teaching. Change your thinking, change your life. But no, we're no longer doing what we set out to do. We're not growing. Not all our centers are thriving. We need to shake it up in order to reach people, in order to teach people, in order for things to change. In other words, we need to be different in order to be relevant. And here you thought I was just at Asilomar frolicking at the beach. Now I realize this may be a little disheartening, but I promise I'm going to bring it back to the light here in just a few minutes, because I need to make a point here. Because what happened at Asilomar in this giant love bubble is happening all over the world right now. You know as well as I do that there are divisions and there are different perspectives taking place in almost every area of our lives. Politics, human rights, sports, sexuality, financial, environmental, down east versus out west. That was a Canadian reference, I want y'all to know. We are living in a splintered world, at least from this perspective, from our human perspective. However, when we are able to raise our consciousness, which I talk about all the time, beyond what we see to what we know, and what we know is that we are all here together, we are spiritual beings, we are navigating together this human world, and that we are all doing the very best we know how with what we have and who we are, we come to realize that it doesn't have to be an either or choice. It can be both and. In other words, I can be a traditionalist about our teaching, and I am. And I can still learn, and I can still teach from those more modern authors and mystics and teachers. It's both and. I can stand for human rights and still do everything I can to raise the consciousness of the world, starting with my own, so that anything unlike total and complete acceptance of everyone becomes irrelevant. Both and. We can love our new thought teaching with our heart and our soul and still recognize that it may not work for everyone and be okay with that. How many of us have said, oh, if everybody just knew the teaching and lived by the teaching? Well, yeah, but you know what? It doesn't speak to everybody. Both and. We can honor and love what we have and who we are, and still recognize that the nature of the universe is growth and evolution, and accept that things will change, because they will. Both and. In fact, in his famous Sermon by the Sea, that Ernest Holmes, the irrelevant, no, just kidding, Ernest Holmes gave at Asilomar at the chapel right on the ocean, and he wrote this: others will arise who will know more than we do. They won't be better or worse. They will be different and know more than we do. Evolution is forward. So my experience of Asilomar was a beautiful blend of both and. And it caused me to look at where I might be holding on to things that no longer serve me, or no longer serve our organization, or no longer serve our center. Now, don't get all nervous. I'm not talking about wholesale change here. I'm not a disruptor. Trust me, that isn't my style. That isn't my desire. And we are certainly not going to do anything that stifles the amazing sense of community that we have here in this beautiful center. But I am saying that we are going to be, scratch that I am going to be open to evolution and to growth, whatever that may look like, while at the same time loving and honoring, which is a new word for honoring and cherishing, both and. So I'm going to close with a quote by Rumi. Many of you will know this one. I've used it before, but it seems particularly relevant for today. And Rumi lived in about maybe the 1400s. So, I'm kind of disproving my point that I kind of made, but then disproved and then made again. So, both and. This is the quote from Rumi. Out beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Some people call it Rumi's field. I'll meet you in Rumi's field. Today I'm calling it the field of both and I'll meet you there. I love you, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We did a little switching around with our selections, our musical selections today. After I wrote this talk, or I should say the talk wrote itself, which doesn't always happen. But we did a little switcheroo, and I think that that is just going to be perfect for this talk. So please welcome again, Elevation.
Back when I had a little, I thought that I needed a lot. A little was overrated, but a lot was a little more complicated. See, zero didn't satisfy me, a million didn't make me happy. Well, that's when I learned the lesson, that it's all about your perception. Hey, are you a papa or a superstar? So you act, so you feel, so you are. It's not about the size of your car, it's about the size of the faith in your heart. And there's hope, just cause a thing to smile. You don't have to pay to laugh, better thank God for that. There's hope, just cause a thing to smile. Don't have to pay to laugh, better thank God for that. Out in the backcountry of Brazil, I met a young man who made me feel I could accomplish anything. See, just like me, he wanted to sing. He had no windows and no doors. He lived a simple life and was extremely poor. Top of all of that, he had no eyesight, but that didn't keep him from seeing the light. He said, what's it like where you're living today? Well, all I did was complain. Told me living here is paradise. Taught me paradise is in your mind. You know there's hope, just cause a thing to smile. Don't have to pay to laugh, better thank God for that. There's hope, just cause a thing to smile. Don't have to pay to laugh, better thank God for that. There's hope. Every time I turn on the TV, there's hope. Somebody's acting crazy. There's hope. And if you let it, it can drive you crazy. There's hope. So I'm taking back my power today. There's hope. Gas prices, they keep on rising. There's hope. Government, they keep on lying. There's hope. We've got to keep on surviving. There's hope. You can do the best you can do. 'Cause there's hope. Woo. Doesn't cause a thing to smile. Come on. Don't have to pay to laugh. Better thank God for that.
Hey!
There's hope. Doesn't cause a thing to smile. You don't have to pay to laugh. Better thank God for that. There's hope. Stand up for your right. Keep shining your light. Show the world the smile. There's hope. Stand up for your right. Keep shining your light. Show the world there's hope. There's hope. Doesn't cause a thing to smile. Don't have to pay to laugh. Better thank God for that. There's hope. Doesn't cause a thing to smile. Don't have to pay to laugh. Better thank God for that.
Woo, Elevation. Amy, Oliver, Steph, Ben, and Brendan. Yowza, that was awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you for being so flexible. So, I'm going to set myself up for something here after that talk. If you think that there is something that we could be doing different, better, if there is something, I don't want to open myself to like you want me to change. That's not quite what I had in mind. But I am open to ideas. I am open to ideas. So you can email me at drpat@calgarycsl.org. I'm not telling you I'm going to do it. I'm not telling you that we're going to implement everything, but since I have now opened myself up, let's find out what wants to happen. Yeah? Okay, good. So, now is our time to financially support the center. As you know, we are 100% supported by donations. I don't know that everybody realizes that, other than the casino, but we work for that. But we don't. There's not a Vatican that sends us money to support. We are supported by what we generate here. And so, on the online people, there are all kinds of ways that you can do that. You can e-transfer, go to the website, check, call the office. The other thing you can do is conscious commitment. You know, I know a lot of you have now signed up for conscious commitment. Can I see that blue card? So if you see people who are putting this card in, it says, I'm a prosperous, grateful participant in the center's conscious giving program. This way you just fill out a form and we take the money out of the money is withdrawn from your account once a month. And it's good for us because we kind of know what we can count on to keep the center running, but it's also good for you because if you're traveling and you know, oh gosh, I forgot to send my tithe or something like this is a good way of doing it, and it's very conscious, meaning on purpose. You are doing it consciously. Thank you, Reverend Marjorie. Okay, everyone else, let's take our tithes, our gifts, our donations, and hold it to our heart. And ask again, what wants to happen? And let's say our conscious giving affirmation. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I give returns to me multiplied abundantly. I am so blessed. And so it is, and so it is. Let's sing, I thank love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I thank love for everything. 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 Woo! I thank love for everything. 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 I thank love for everything.
Woo! All righty, let's bring in the kids.
1, 2, 3, 4.
today. Girl
Girl
power.
power.
We had so much fun today in Fun Day. We took an opportunity to go outside, check on the garden. We came in and read a really fun story about princesses switching places and how we learned that the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. We got to talk about that. And then we also took an opportunity to build some butterflies, and we talked a little bit about going back to school. Nothing too intense today, just a fun day full of sunshine and lots of laughter. We had a lot of fun. With that said, next weekend, Sunday, September 3rd, I am looking for some volunteers to participate in very unstructured kind of fun day. It would be an opportunity to volunteer with other people in the community, and if you're interested in that, please come talk to me. It would just be an opportunity to see what Fun Day is all about. It's just come up that I cannot be here next Sunday, and so if anybody in the community would like to volunteer their time and come and see what Fun Day is all about, it'll be a little bit of a loose, unstructured Fun Day to get to hang out with all these beautiful faces. So if that interests you, please come let me know after service. I'm hoping to find 2 or 3 adults that would like to hang out together and just spend some time in the Fun Day room. I will be in Fun Day after service, so feel free. And thank you for bringing these amazing children. I have so much fun with them, and honestly, I learn more from them than they'll ever learn from me. So thank you so much, and happy Sunday.
Wait, Miss Rachel, can I ask you a question?
Let me take a breath.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. So do we need like other helpers in Fun Day, like other than just next Sunday?
Yes, absolutely. So next Sunday is just to fill an immediate gap, an immediate need since I cannot be here. But in terms of Fun Day, yes. So right now I am the only regular teacher on the roster, and I do have one other person that gives me their support when it's needed. However, I'm looking for a couple people or anybody who is interested in joining Fun Day, whether that's at a volunteer capacity, that could be once a month, once every 3 months, whatever that looks like to you, once a week. Or also, if you've taken foundations, then you can actually become a Fun Day teacher. All that's required is to have the foundations class, and teaching Fun Day is a really great opportunity to explore a new part of yourself and see what it's like to connect with a really, really young part of Science of Mind. It's really interesting to see how these children grasp to these concepts really naturally. So Fun Day is a really good opportunity to see a different side of Science of Mind.
And there is a small stipend for that, just to let you know that if you're like, oh, maybe I'd like to earn a few extra bucks. So, yeah?
Yes, Fun Day teaching, you do get compensated for your time.
Yeah. Thank you, darling. Thank you, Rachel. Give them a hand. We love our kids. Hi, Soleil. Okay, everybody let's stand up. We're going to do our closing, and you know how that goes. We're going to rub our hands together, and we're going to send our love and our good juju and our good energy to wherever it's needed. We've had some people making their transitions who are close to people in our center. Doug lost his brother this week. Connie Chow lost her father last week, and Fran Watson just lost her father last night. And so if we want to just send some healing, loving vibes to them, that would be wonderful. So on a count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Have a wonderful week. 1, 2, 3.
I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. I sing my love, I sing my love, I sing my love into the world. my walk. I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. Women warm and women time. They're kicked around since I was born. That's alright, it's okay. You can look the other way. You can try to understand. The New York Times suspect on man. Whether you're a mother or whether you're a brother, you're staying alive, staying alive. Feel the city breaking when everybody's shaking and we're staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. Hey, I live my peace, I live my peace, I live my peace into the world. That's the way, I like it. That's the way, I like it. Staying alive. That's the way, I like it. Have a wonderful week, everybody.